Hi, I'm James the Box Office Artist, and welcome to part 2. That's right, this is part 2 of my drawing Loki from Thor Ragnarok series, and this is basic finishing. Okay, so I changed the name of this. It's not basic inking, this is basic finishing, because again, you could do this with any material you want. Okay, it doesn't necessarily have to be an ink pen. As you notice, I go straight to ink from these, from the construction. A lot of people in comics, they don't go straight to ink. They use a pencil. Okay, some use a 2H pencil. When I was working in comics, we use 2H pencils. You don't have to do that. You could use whatever material you want at this particular point. You could just use a regular pencil. You could use ink like I'm using. Hey, you could even use a color. That'd be fun to do. Why don't you use it with color? Whatever method that you choose to do, basic principle is to clean up what we've done in the construction and to tighten the lines that we have made. So that's what we are going to do in this video. Again, this video is sped up, okay, because I didn't do the commentary live. I did it afterwards. So this video is sped up. So let me know in the comments below what you think about this particular video, if it does help. So hopefully it does help. And remember, if I go too fast, you could always hit the pause button. That's there for you. Hit the pause button so you could follow along, and I'm really excited to see what you do with this Loki drawing. So without further ado, let's get into it. Let's go into the basic finishing of this Loki drawing. Okay, here we go, starting to ink, and we're going straight to the eyes here. I always like going to the eyes first. They seem, I don't know, because like I said before, eyes windows to the soul, so I always like going the eyes first. Now, I'm going to apologize right off the bat because it looks like I forgot to turn off autofocus and that my head got into the shot. That's why it keeps focusing like that. So hopefully it's not too distracting for all of you. So again, I think I might have mentioned this in the intro. You don't need to use a pen at this point. You could just use a pencil. When I'm talking about finishing here, it's not necessarily an ink here. However you want to finish, whether that be with a pencil or with the ink, however you want to do it, that's totally up to you. But the principles, hopefully, that we're teaching you are the same here. So again, going through the eyes here, and then now going ahead and drawing in the nose here. Okay, so even though I'm not putting dark blacks in this particular part of the drawing, I am well aware that the light is coming from the top left. Okay, so I do know things like, for example, the upper lip most likely will be a little darker. Now, Tom Hiddleston doesn't have much of an upper lip, so you hardly see that. But that's why I put a little bit of shadow right underneath the bottom lip there. Okay, now I am doing a little bit of line weight. You notice that there. I add a little bit of line weight. Now I wish I did bring the camera a little bit closer so you could see that. But you notice the side of the face, it's a little bit of a thicker line there in certain areas, and it curves down. The line varies in weight. That comes through practice, in all honesty. I wish I could explain it better, but that does come in practice. Okay, so hopefully you'll get that. Now, here I am drawing in the helmet. Now, I am freehanding most of this, and as I go through me inking this entire thing, you'll notice I do freehand a lot. I freehand a lot of these things. Now, you could use a French curve, you could use a ruler. In this particular instance, again, also because I was stressed for time, I'm just kind of freehanding it and just trying to add in the little details. But you notice even there, I added a little bit of shadow knowing it's light's coming from the top left. But refining the lines here. And also, you know, I'm not married. I'm not completely married to the construction lines I've done. The construction lines, again, it's like that base of clay, right? And I'm just pretty much cleaning up at this particular moment here. Just adding in all the little itty-bitty details. And that goes here. Now, some people work differently. Some people like to work with the big shadows first and then do the details afterwards. You know, to each his own. I see value in that as well, as I draw in the horns here right now. And again, I'm freehanding this. I'm freehanding it. Usually I would use a French curve for something like that. French curves to make sure those curved lines are, you know, they're looking right. But again, pressed for time. And I wouldn't attempt doing this without without French curves, without experience, guys. This is like 17 years of experience, me using these French curves, learning perspective and all of that. So I wouldn't even attempt it without it. So if you feel comfortable, by all means, go for it. And if you're using pencil, why not? Go for it. But me, ink is not as forgiving as pencil, for sure. So that's what I wouldn't recommend it if you're going straight to ink at this point. So again, just drawing in the hair right now, drawing in itty bitty strands of hair. I know I'm gonna add a little bit of black to it later, so I just, I left it as is. Now drawing in the collar and going in and starting to put in all the itty bitty costume details that we have going on here, and always going back and forth with the reference that I have. I do have reference up. I'm looking at my monitor here, looking at reference. And here, drawing in the shoulder pad. As you can tell, I'm still trying to add in that volume. So you see those little double lines that I'm adding there. Trying to really hit home the thickness of those plates on his shoulders. Now I'm going in and drawing in the costume detail. You notice I'm doing this first before actually drawing in all the muscles. I'm drawing in these costume details first because to make these stand out, especially with a black and white drawing, these need to be white. You could even, these little lines here, you could even draw the muscles in first and then do this with a white gel pen if you really wanted to. So it's really up to you. But me, I'm a detailed guy. I like seeing these details up close, up front. So that's why I'm putting in these little details first. Now I'm going ahead and drawing in the belt here. Again, feeling the volume. This belt has to feel like it's going around the surface of the body there. And as you can tell, I always go back and forth. I get bored sticking with one area, even though I should stick in one area, especially when I'm doing a tutorial. I should stick to doing one area just so it's a little bit easier for you guys to watch. Okay, so I'm just adding in all the costume details first. Here, as you're noticing, all the little lines, especially here, all the little lines that go around the surface of the body, right? So I know the muscle's there. I know where the muscle is. We roughed it in already. So I just wanted to quickly go around and add in all these little itty bitty details here. As you can tell, adding in some wrinkles in the clothes as well. But this particular version of Loki, he's got a lot of these little stripes that go all the way around his body. So, I want to get all those in, make sure that they look right, Okay, and here drawing in the other arm here, and drawing in these plates. The forearm has this big plate, which has these little plates on top of it. So just going ahead and drawing those in. You try to keep those plates consistent, though. I think that bottom plate I made a little bit too thick, as you could see. How I went around there. But, it is what it is. My favorite saying. And now drawing more stripes on the side. And as you can tell, I make a little bit thicker line underneath. It makes it feel like there's these ribbons, kind of ribbons going on top of each other. So adding that little bit of shadow underneath there, that kind of helps hit it home. Okay, so now I'm going back and forth, adding in little details on the shoulder pads there. So you can see, and on the other side as well. So there you go. Okay, so pretty much all of this is just cleaning up. It's cleaning up all of these underdrawings here. So again, drawing in the fingers, adding in the little extra glove details to him there. Looking at it now, his hands might be a little bit too big, but it's okay. It's passable for now. Now adding in a little bit more detail to the belt itself here. Oh, to let you guys know, by the way, this video is sped up, I'd say about 5 times. 5 times right now. So this actual process, I would say, took me around 45-50 minutes to actually clean up the art here. Maybe about an hour. So going around here, adding the details. Now, you notice I didn't rough in some of these. Excuse me. I didn't rough in some of these details because, they seemed simple enough that I didn't have to put them in. So I just added them in later on, pretty much just to save time. As you guys know, I was pressed for time, as I mentioned in the previous video. And drawing in the knife here now. Now, I had no problem drawing the base of the knife in freehand. But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, yes, I went in and used a ruler for the actual knife itself. And, this is my French curve here. As you guys know, my favorite tool, the French curve. And the good thing about the French curve is it does give the line a little bit of life. Just that little bevel of line there. It just, it helps, feel it less mechanical, I find. So sometimes you will see me, when the lines aren't too long, you'll see me do straight lines with a French curve. And now I'm going in and roughing in these muscles here. Okay, and as you notice here, what I'm really roughing in is where the shadows are. That's where the shadows are going to go. So just basic rough in like so. And then that's pretty much it. Now I'm going around, and wherever I feel there's a separation, wherever I feel there's a major edge, that's where I'm going to add a thick line. And I'm going to do this all the way around this particular character here. As you can tell, I did fill in a little bit of black there. Okay, but again, all the way around, I'm filling in, or making the lines a lot thicker. I believe I'm using an 8, it's either a 5 or an 8 micron while doing this. But I think about it this way, what are edges? Lines are edges at the end of the day. So I think about if there was a spider that would crawl across that surface, when it would go around the surface and you can't see the spider anymore, that's where I would put a thick line. Okay, so that's what I'm thinking of there. And all the major separations, right? So where the shoulder pad is, of course, all around the arm, everywhere I think there's a separation, that's where I'm adding a thick line. That's why the belt, see a thick line, but you notice the costume details inside, I will not add a thick line. So going all the way around this particular body here. So this was a lot of fun to do. Now, you notice too, when I'm done, the actual outlining of this body here, you could be done. You could be like, this is it. This is all you have to do. Especially if you're going into color. If you like Copics, a lot of things I'm going to be doing with the lighting and shading in the next video, you could do with Copics. Like, you could take this. Like, this could be enough for you. This could be enough for you. And then you just, grab your markers and go to town. Or grab your pencil crayons, go to town. The lighting and shading you could achieve with just straight color. Me personally, I like to take this to the next level and add in all the shadows myself, but for the most part, this is how I would actually go ahead and clean up those construction lines and clean up this particular drawing. But you know me, I want to add a little bit more detail, so on to the next video. There it is, and hopefully you did okay, because this is the basic finish of this Loki drawing. Again, as I mentioned before, you don't have to go to the lighting and shading video. You can already take this into Photoshop. You can scan this, put it in Photoshop, or grab your markers, already start coloring this. Totally acceptable to finish here. In fact, when I was working in comics, most of my colorists would rather I stopped here without going into the lighting rendering, because this gives the colorist so much control when it comes to actually coloring their particular drawing. So that's totally up to you, okay? However you want to draw. If you're happy finishing here, by all means, totally ignore the last drawing. But if you want to get into more advanced shading, lighting techniques, and cross-hatching, all that kind of stuff, go check out the next video, which is lighting and rendering. So thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. Hey, let me know down below what you think about this format of video, because unfortunately, for some of the other tutorials, they will have to be done in this style. So I would love your feedback. Let me know in the comments down below, but hopefully you learned something. And again, I would love to see your drawings. If you actually got it to this level, send it to me. Tweet it to me at BoxOfficeArtist. I would love to see it. Tag me on Instagram at BoxOfficeArtist. I would love to see it. In fact, follow me on all social media, all down below. And if you are new to my channel, you looked around, you like what you see, well, if you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button, well, I will be your friend for life. Thank you for watching. My name is James. I am the Box Office Artist. I'm here to say keep drawing, and I'll see you all next time.